attention to the man behind the curtain. He's a brainless, heartless coward with no power. That's just another trick of his. He ain't no whiz, so don't feed his fire. Jump in my balloon, I'll take you higher. Take you somewhere over the rainbow. Get your ticket to the show. Heels click and here we go. Cause you already know there's no place like.
My guest today is a YouTube phenomenon who got his start in the Broadway ensemble. Now he's come back a star, taking on the role of Lola in the Tony-winning smash Kinky Boots. What's up, Todrick Hall?
What's up?
So happy you're on Broadway.
I'm so happy I'm sitting on the couch with you in this beat jacket because you look like you're ready for Alice in Wonderland's tea party. I'm obsessed with it. I love it.
You do know a costume, don't you?
Yes, I'm always wearing a costume every day.
This is so exciting. I mean, this is amazing. This is sort of like, it seems like it must be a dream for you to get to headline a show like Kinky Boots.
It is a dream, but I've never been like more consumed with like nervousness in my life.
Really?
I don't even know if nervousness is a word, but my whole body is just so nervous. I'm like such a perfectionist.
Right.
So every morning I wake up and I'm like, what is this line that I missed yesterday? So I'm just ready to be in the role and to be able to like have myself become Lola as opposed to like thinking of every single line and every step and all the costume changes because it's so overwhelming, but it's Broadway. It wouldn't be Broadway if it was easy, I guess.
You've very publicly gone out for some things. You made a great video called I Want to Be on Glee.
Yeah.
So did you ever say I want to be on Kinky Boots? I want to be in Kinky Boots? Is this...
No, actually, I've started to realize that even though the videos go viral, those never help me out. I've never actually gotten one of the things that I campaigned
People love watching them, but they don't actually get you a job.
Yeah, they don't get me a job. They get me a job, but not ever the job that I want.
A different job.
So it's so funny that it's quite the opposite. I was doing Hairspray at Hollywood Bowl with Harvey Fierstein when he and with Jerry Mitchell when they were both like conceiving this and working on it, and they were like, yeah, we're doing this new show called Kinky Boots, and they both cornered me like at a rehearsal and were like, you would be great for this show. You should come in for it because you'd be perfect for it. And I was working on with them like literally a month before they came to New York to start really going forward with it. And I was like, no, I'm gonna stay in New York. I mean, in LA. I'm gonna just stay here and work on my YouTube channel. And then 5 years later, I'm in this role that they told me that I should be auditioning for anyway. I would have. So it's just crazy how when something's meant for you, it will just come back full circle.
Do you feel like this is like a good fit?
Well, a lot of people online were saying this is like the perfect version of stunt casting. This is what it should be.
I don't think it's stunt casting because I've seen you. You're a hoofer. You're a singer. You've done Broadway. You've done it the hard way.
Exactly. And I looked at stunt casting as a negative thing.
Right.
So I was like, okay, well, I'll take that, I guess, as a compliment because people are like, this is what it should be. You were made for this role. And I didn't feel like I agreed with them. But once I started really reading the script and like learning who Lola / Simon truly is, I realized that there are a lot of similarities in my life and in the life of Simon, who has created this persona in Lola. And so I definitely identify with the character so much, and it's really cool for me to be able to relive some of my life experiences on stage every night.
What about doing drag every night? I mean, you just said it takes an hour to get into Lola drag.
Yeah.
How does that feel to be having that be a part of it?
Well, I've done so many videos where I have to put on makeup every day. So
yeah, we've seen all sorts of crazy get-ups on you.
Exactly. I've had to sit down for 4 to 6 hours sometimes to get a prosthetic piece put on me and then put makeup all over your whole body. So that's not something new for me, but I'm a very spontaneous person, and every week is a new adventure, a new video for me in LA. So for me to relive the same role and for me to do the same makeup sometimes 4 times a day, because Lola starts in the makeup and then becomes a man, then is a woman again. So that part is something that I'm not used to, and I feel like the makeup artist is gonna be like, sit down, because I'm like moving around all day when she's trying to make me put on makeup. So I feel like she's gonna be like, sit down. But I think it's gonna help me get in the zone and be focused.
I feel like you're gonna be like, let's change Lola's look this week.
I know. I'm already like, can we do this? Can we do that? And she's like, no, Todrick, you have to do the makeup that is given to you.
I'm excited to talk to you and dig into you a little bit because you're such a self-starter and you're so creative.
Thank you.
And I've just been really amazed watching what you've done over the last like 6 years. Really, it's amazing.
Thank you.
It's amazing, and it's such a modern day success story. You know, you were in the ensemble. You were in the ensemble with The Color Purple, and you covered Harpo. Right?
Yeah.
Did you go on for Harpo a lot?
I didn't. I didn't
never
go on
went
a lot.
on?
I went on once, but I didn't go on a lot. And I also was in the ensemble of Memphis as well.
Yeah, I know. That was after American Idol, actually.
After American Idol.
So I remember seeing you on American Idol and hearing your story. I was like, oh my God, this guy's from Broadway. And what's happened to you since then? I mean, you were already sort of starting to do some video work at that point.
Yeah.
But it's such a modern day story because, you know, in the old days they used to say, well, actors need to sort of create their own work. And people would, their version of that would be like to do a cabaret act or to do like a one-man show.
Yeah.
But you created your own work in this amazing, you know, YouTube world. So I think of you as someone who can do so many things because you've shown us you can do so. You've done so many crazy things online.
Yeah.
I mean, there's over like 300 videos, right?
Yes.
I was looking at, I wanted to remind myself what your first video was, and it was like a Boys to Men video, right?
Oh my gosh.
That's like
I don't even claim that as the first video. When people say, what's your first
That's
video?
the
I
oldest
say
video on your YouTube channel.
It is. It is the actual, I've been lying all these years to everyone.
You've been lying?
I've been telling everybody my first video was a McDonald's drive-thru, and
No,
it wasn't.
it's not. No. That's your first with millions, bazillions of
it
clicks,
back.
maybe. It's so hard to say goodbye, Boys to Men. You did that on January 14th, 2008. So I want you to take me back to that moment. What inspired you to say, I'm going to make this video and put this up?
Well, this is a funny story that I don't ever tell people because it's kind of embarrassing, but I auditioned for American Idol once before.
Okay.
And I made it all the way into the room with Paula and Simon, and I had a great audition that year, and I was like, they were loving everything I was doing. And then I got into the room, and basically I got a flu shot, and I was doing 8 shows a week, and I had to like go in between our shows. And
What show were you doing at that point?
I was doing Color Purple.
Okay.
That was when I did
okay.
that.
So it was during that. Okay.
It was during that, and so I auditioned.
Okay, Fantasia, you said on camera, Fantasia inspired you to go audition.
Yeah, and so I auditioned, and basically, long story short, I got so sick, and I got a flu shot, and I ended up getting so sick, and then I stayed up all night to go to Connecticut or wherever the audition was and sing, and I had lost my voice, like I had just gone to a Justin Bieber concert and screamed my face off, and I couldn't even like make words. I ended up finding out I had hemorrhages on my vocal cords,
God.
but I was like not gonna miss this callback, so I went into the room, auditioned for everyone, and I'm so embarrassed of this story. I don't know why I was so scared to ever tell people. No one knows this, but basically, when that was around the time that American Idol was about to come on, and I thought they were gonna show my audition for some strange reason, and I was like, if they show my audition and then I don't make it through, I want people to know that I can sing. So I put up this horrible version, like I look like I'm like at the bottom of the Titanic still in there, and I sang that song just in case they showed me on the show. I would want people to go on YouTube.
You were covering your name, basically.
And then I never put up a video after that. When they told me, when I saw the episode and they didn't show me, I was like, thank God. And so, and I went back and auditioned, and the next time I slept for like 3 days before I went in and auditioned.
Wow. But it is hilarious looking at that video now because your videos now are, I mean, they're movies. I mean, they're Spielberg movies. They're Baz Luhrmann movies. I mean, they're incredible.
That's pushing it, man.
How are you pulling off these beautiful productions? I mean, they're beautiful video productions. And tell me a little bit about like your process. You said when you're in LA, you're creating videos all the time. What is your actual process? I know now you're in the land of Lola, but when you're in LA, creating this brand for yourself, you're just coming up with these ideas and.
Yeah, I would just be inspired by things, and I realized that a lot of the kids who watched my YouTube channel didn't know what Cell Block Tango was, or had never heard.
I love when you bring
Singing
Broadway
in the
into
Rain.
it. Yeah.
And even though I don't know that I gave the best example of those, and I think that Gene Kelly might be like rolling over in his grave if he watched his Twerking in the Rain, but it made people go back and watch the original to find out what the origin of that song was, because it blows my mind that they didn't know what it was. But basically, I have to say that like I can be the most creative person in the world, but if I don't have a team of people to help me, then I would have nothing. And I found a team of people who were just as hungry and as thirsty for success as I was, and it took a long time. There were a lot of people who did not fit into the group, because in order for you to be on Team Toddy, as we called it, you have to be willing to stay up all night. I mean, sometimes we don't start shooting a video till 3 a.m. and we stay up till 8 a.m. shooting the video, but these kids were young, they were ready, and we were all freshly new to LA, and we would just make videos, and we would learn things as each video would happen. We'd be like, oh my gosh, why does this look like that? Oh, maybe it's the lighting. We didn't go to school to figure out what it was. So you can notice progression if you watch from It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday to the video, my latest thing I did, Straight Out of Oz.
Which is amazing. It's like an
grows so
hour-long story of your
Visual
life.
album,
and I love Wizard of Oz stuff too. So.
Oh, awesome.
Oh yeah, and you clearly have like this Wizard of Oz
So
fetish.
we're definitely on the same page.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
And actually, didn't you wrote that Oz musical, right? It was called Oz?
Oz the musical, yeah.
Like way back.
Oh my gosh, you are a Throwback Thursday in here. That's so crazy. I'm going to have to just take a picture of us and put it as a Throwback Thursday on Instagram.
Oh no, I know you. I've been following you.
I know you. You sound like my mom when you said that. Child, I know you. That's what she says to me when I'm in trouble.
But I want to hear your story a little bit. So you grew up where?
Plainview, Texas.
Okay, so you are from Texas, which you say in Straight Outta Oz. That is actual. That's like you. That you sort of wrote like a bio musical.
I did, yeah.
It's incredible that you did that.
Thank you.
With
Thank
amazing
you so
guest
much.
stars, and you write music too.
I write music. I love writing. That's my favorite thing to do. Is I think that doing covers and like doing parodies of other people's music is really, really fun. Just because people are waiting to see how you changed up the lyrics. But to write something from your own heart, like nothing will be as great as that, like as great a feeling as that, because you put it out there. And the song Color that I wrote for my visual album is my favorite song because I was in such a closed-minded area where people were like, I didn't know very many gay people.
Yeah.
You did not tell people you were gay if you were, especially if you were an African American. It's not gonna happen. And I had never met a British person. I'd never really been in love before, and I met this guy, and I will never forget how I felt when I saw him. My heart just started butterflying the way it never has since then. It's like the puppy love that you'll never get again. And I don't think that anyone else could have written a song that would make me feel the butterflies that I felt when I saw him. I would be the only person that could do that. And so every time I hear that song, it completely transports me back to working at Six Flags over Texas and seeing this little British boy walk by for the first time.
You met at Six Flags?
Yeah, we met at Six Flags. Yeah, he was there. He was doing river dance, like the flash dance, or spirit of the dance type thing. And I went there, and I'm not even into that stuff, but he was just hopping around, and I was like, yes, baby, you're it. And he told one of my friends, he was like, he's stunning. And I was like, oh my gosh. He probably had like the most Cockney, like not the correctly spoken British accent. But to me, it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever heard. And like talking to him, I just felt like I was like in another world. Like every night I would stay up all night until the sun came up talking to him. It was like a movie, you know? And so I wanted to write a song that would feel like that, and there was just no song that existed that would fit the Wizard of Oz storyline. So I wrote that one, and that's one of my favorite songs.
And by the way, Broadway shout out, who plays the British man in your video? One of our favorites.
J. Armstrong Johnson.
J. Armstrong Johnson. You're like good friends with him.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is too much to say or if this is a very rated G audience. Jay was one of, like, I was his first gay experience ever, his first gay kiss, his first gay whatever. And like
good to know.
And the only reason I'm telling that is because he would tell you that. If you ever see him and say, what was your first gay experience? He'll be like, Todrick Hall.
Right.
He started with the chocolate honey. And and so when I thought of people who I wanted to sing this with, he was one of the first names that came to mind. I was so happy. He was like, I'm down. He came and stayed with me. And I feel like you can feel the chemistry because we dated when we were like 17. I was 17. He was like 16 or 15 years old. Like that's
Look at that. You documented your first in a beautiful music video.
Exactly. So I just wanted you to know it's so ironic that we both ended up on Broadway from this small town in Texas because we grew up trying to figure out who we were together. So it's really cool.
So then you were in The Color Purple, and isn't it crazy how The Color Purple had this amazing comeback this year? I mean, it's been
insane.
It's been incredible.
It felt so weird watching it. In the theater. It was so cool though, and Cynthia Erivo has become one of my really good friends, and I'm just obsessed with her and her golden throat.
So you definitely were on a path. You were definitely on a path to do something like Lola, right? I mean, you were starring in Broadway shows. You wanted to do something like this. Broadway was the dream, right?
Yes, it's always been my first love and my biggest passion is performing live and especially telling a story.
But so what told you this YouTube thing. I mean, you're right. The McDonald's drive-thru was sort of probably your first big hit, right?
Yeah.
On YouTube with millions of views, which is a great video, by the way. Look it up.
Thank you.
And but what gave you that idea? Like, what made you say, like, I'm gonna create a channel on YouTube and I'm gonna, I don't know, like, what was the?
I never had that idea. Like, I've never had a moment where I was
just
like,
happened organically.
oh, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. No, and it wasn't like a thing to do then. Like now, everyone has a YouTube channel, and like. I just would make a video and I would be like, oh, this will be fun. And I just had this idea that wouldn't translate on stage. I was like, we should go to the McDonald's drive-thru and sing. And I didn't think it was gonna go viral. I didn't even know what a subscriber was. I didn't know anything about the view counts. I had no idea. I just did it for fun. And I think that's why people identified with my channel in the beginning, because it was obvious that I didn't know what I was doing and that I didn't have any like guideline. There was no one doing what I was doing on YouTube at the time for me to like have like a blueprint and say, oh, I'm gonna be a channel kind of like this. I was just doing stuff that I would have normally done with my friends anyway, but no one would have seen it. Like that's something we would dress up and go just like change the signs at like, the local car wash and video it and think it was so funny, and it was just enough for us to just laugh at it on our own. And then there was this platform that you could put it on and other people could laugh at it if they thought it was funny, and I said, well, why not? Try it. And then it started getting all these views. And there was a moment where I had just gotten eliminated from American Idol, and people would stop me all the time because I was in Texas and say, I saw you on American Idol. Right. And after that video came out, people would be like, and I would be like, American Idol, and they would be like, no, you're the McDonald's guy. And I was like, yeah, I guess I am. I'll take that. And so eventually they kept saying, you're the McDonald's guy. And I would wear these red baseball tees all the time, and people would recognize me from that. So I was like, well, maybe I'll make a couple more singing food orders. And I was just the guy that just did that. And I thought that was going to be my destiny, is basically doing free commercials for people online. And at a certain point, I realized I was making more money from these videos, these 3 videos I had online, than I was making on Broadway. And so when I started looking at my checks, I was like, well,
this is like when you were in Memphis.
Yeah.
When you came and did Memphis, yeah. And aren't you actually in the video? You're in the
I
ensemble.
am in the DVD.
You're on Netflix. You can watch him on the ensemble on Netflix.
I love that. I didn't even realize it was on Netflix. I should go watch that.
Yeah, you can go watch it.
But yeah,
so you really, and you started making, let's explain to people, you start making money because of advertising on your channel, because you have so many, because you have legitimate advertisers on all of your videos.
Yes.
So you just start getting checks from YouTube?
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I'll sign up for this AdSense thing. I had no idea. And when I started realizing I could buy a car from this money that I made on YouTube, and I'm like struggling to make it on Broadway every week, I should maybe go do this, because what if I had 300 videos instead of 3 viral videos? Because at that point I had about 3 viral videos. And people were just recognizing me so much from that, and I was like, I can build a platform. I could do anything I want if I get an army of people and like a fan base that every time I put up a video, it alerts. You know, at that time,
it alerts 2.3 million people as of this morning. That's how many subscribers you have.
Yeah, and so I was just like, this is crazy. I should try to do this. And I went on a total whim, and everyone in Memphis was like, you're gonna leave a Tony Award-winning Broadway musical to go make YouTube videos? And I was like, I think I am. Like, and it was just like a moment where I didn't know what I was doing, but it was a leap of faith, and I went and did it, and it's the best leap of faith I've ever taken, because it's allowed me to do exactly what I want, but now I can come back to Broadway and on a different platform, you know?
Yeah, and you've earned it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's amazing.
Thank you. I've had so much fun doing it.
What are some of your favorite videos you've created with maybe sort of Broadway themes? I mean, there's a lot. You've sort of played with a lot of Broadway ideas in there.
Yeah, well, I've done Chicago is one of my favorite musicals.
Yeah.
So I've done All That AZZ.
Oh yeah, All That Ass.
Okay,
yeah.
I don't know what this audience is.
Yeah.
So I've done that. All of these videos, my mom's gonna tell you, my mom's gonna tell me not to tell people to watch.
Oh really?
Yeah, my mom hates.
What's your
these
mom's
videos.
favorite video?
My mom just likes the ones that make you like cry at the end. Like she likes, and she likes things where I just sit there and sing. She likes the It Gets Better video.
Oh yeah, that was another big moment. It was like a big during the whole It Gets Better movement. You came out with the video. It was so much fun. You're right that a lot of the appeal was people sort of discovering you, and you said you were figuring it out in front of people.
Yeah.
And that was one thing I really liked, is whenever you had a new video, I'd be like, oh my God, look at him now. Now it's like, this much slicker and this much like more production and this many more guest stars and costumes and special effects.
It was crazy because I was sitting there and sometimes I would look at the video and say, well, why doesn't this one look like this one? The things that I would have learned if I had gone to film school.
Right.
And I didn't realize that I was being a director. Like I didn't even realize, I was just saying what I wanted and what I felt like I needed and what shots. I would see this shot and I'd be like, I really like the way this looks. We should do that more often. It took me forever to realize that a moving shot would make there be life in the video. All of my shots were super stagnant in the beginning, and I didn't know what a Steadicam was. I was like, it'd be so cool if there was a machine that would make this look really cool. And people would be like, that exists, and I'd be like, what? Really? And then we'd go figure out how you get the like cheap, like Payless Ross version of that, and we'd be rolling around like literally. We'd have like a tractor trailer thing, you know, we'd go buy one from Walmart that you sit your child on, and my friend would be sitting there like this, and we'd be pushing him, and we'd be like, yes, that's it, that's the shot. And so then we figured out what a Steadicam was, and then things started getting more expensive, and we realized, oh, if you want that, you have to pay this much money to have it. But we figured out everything on our own. Like we would Google things, we'd look on YouTube and figure out how they accomplish certain shots. We figured out what drones were, but we had none of this knowledge. Me and my friends just sat around on the internet and figured it out ourselves.
And like just in the time we've been sitting here, because you have over 300 videos and they all have, and many of them have multi-million views, you're making money just while we're sitting here. Like ads are playing right now on your videos. It's amazing.
It's really crazy. It's such a blessing, and I've been able to like really help myself out and help me live like a better life. I've been able to experience things that I would have never experienced, travel the world and meet fans in other countries that I would have never. It's like so mind-boggling. We go to London and we sell out 5 shows, and I always say we.
You do live shows now.
Because it's me and my friends. Like my fans come to see me and Chester and Bonzel and Jesse and you know, all the people who are like known to be on Team Toddy. It's been so cool because when I was growing up, there was no one that I could watch on television that was like me. Like when I would see an African-American man, he would always have a girlfriend, he would always dress a certain way, he would always talk with a certain swag that I didn't possess, and I was always like, I don't really think there is a place for me. And now all of those kids that feel like they don't have a place or that no one speaks their language or no one comes from a life like they do, they come to my show and I meet kids that are 12, 13 years old who are transitioning, and their dads are bringing them to the show saying thank you for opening my eyes and like helping me see like what my child is going through, and to bring them to a show where they're surrounded by people who are going through the same things that they are, or even more importantly, surrounded by people who are not but don't care and look at them like a normal person. And to me, that's what opened my eyes, and that's why I don't make videos like Twerking in the Rain very much anymore, because I realized the platform that I had and the responsibility I had to these young kids, because people are bringing 6-year-olds to my show, the power you possess with your voice, and that's why I just joined this Hillary.
I know, that's what I was going to ask you about. You just put up a video where you went to Philadelphia because one of your fans posted a video saying she probably just wasn't going to vote. Yeah. And you did an entire production number to convince her to vote for Hillary.
Exactly. And it was just, I feel like coming from where I am, we breed this type of person who is, not only they don't feel this way on their own, but you're kind of taught that your voice doesn't matter, your opinion doesn't matter. I think everyone in our country sometimes feels like that. When you see someone you want to win on American Idol and you think, I would like to vote for them, but there's so many people voting that my vote doesn't count. If we lived in a world where no one spoke up and no one went out and fought for things that they believe in, the HIV virus would still be killing people. We would still not be able to marry people that weren't in our race. We'd still be sitting on the back of a bus. We can't live in that world. And sometimes these millennials don't, since they haven't fought for those things. I didn't grow up in a world where I couldn't drink out of the same water fountain or go to the same school with certain people. And so sometimes you sit back and you take things for granted. And so I think it's awesome that we have the voice, that we can pierce through that kind of mentality and explain to them your voice does matter. It's so important. And I think it's helped. And a lot of my fans have tweeted me with their stickers that they went and voted. And that to me means so much more than the views, the fact that we have the power to speak to them in a different way.
So we have to let you go to the land of Lola in a minute, but where do you want all this to go? I mean, do you want to like direct movies? Do you want to star in movies? Are you going to keep? I mean, do you want to do more Broadway shows? Like, where do you, if you think of your life 5 years from now?
I want to do everything. So that's part of the problem. Like that could be like my, you know, the end of me is that I want to do every single thing, and there's just not enough hours in the day to do everything. But ultimately, I want to EGOT. I want to get an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and a Tony.
That's a good goal.
I'm just going to figure out, make a vision board this year with my friends and figure out what goal I'm going to go after first. And as long as I'm performing and making money and being able to like change people's lives and talk to my fans and introduce them to new things and make money doing it, I'm going to be happy.
I can't wait to see it all. It's just going to keep happening. It's all good.
Thank
and I'm
you.
thrilled you're on Broadway.
Thank you.
Land of Lola.
Yes.
Everyone needs to go see Kinky Boots at the Al Hirschfeld. Even if you've already seen it, there's a new Lola, and she is fabulous. By the way, I loved you on Drag Race. I didn't even get to talk about Drag Race, but you're amazing.
Thank
Drag
you.
Race judge. You going to keep doing that?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say, and I don't want RuPaul to get mad at me, but watch season 9.
Okay.
Whether I'm on it or not, watch it.
Thank you so much for coming, Todrick. Great
Thank
to see you.
you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.